So I've been getting a lot of questions from some of you about the cumulative frequency. So maybe the examples in the PowerPoint aren't cutting it. So I wanted to have a live demonstration, so to speak, where you can see it actually worked through and hear me describing it as I do it. So cumulative comes from the word accumulation. It's got the same root word. So it's literally talking about like gathering it up as you go. So the cumulative frequency gathers up the frequencies of each class as it goes. So in the first class, the cumulative frequency is just 2 because that's all you have to grab up as you go. Like literally, this is the only class you've actually seen so far is the 2 from that class. So that's all you have for the cumulative frequency. When we move on then to the next class, the 20 to 29 class, we grab 6 more. So what we do for the cumulative frequency then is we actually add the 2 from the first group plus the 6 from the second group, and that gives us our cumulative frequency of 8. So it's the 2 from the first class that we started with, and then the 6 from the next class that we are adding on to it, that we're accumulating as we go. So let's move on now to the third class. So now we've got the 2 from the first class. We added in 6 more. We accumulated that other 6, and now we're going to accumulate 11 more than that. So, So we have the 2 from the first group, the 6 from the second, and now we're going to have 11 more being added in from the third group. And that's going to give us a total of 19. The pattern continues as we go. Now, it's not necessary to actually write out every one of the numbers like this every single time. It is possible to just realize that, hey, the 2 plus 6 was already done up here. That gave us the 8. All we really need to do is then add 11 to the 8, and that gets us to 19. So if we move on to the next one, we can do the whole 2 plus 6 plus 11 and then add in the new 8. Or what we can realize is that the 2, 6, and 11 were already added together up here. That's where the 19 came from. So all we're doing is adding 8 onto that, and it gives us 27. So for the next one, we can take the 27 that we've accumulated so far, and we're going to add 9 more onto it. That takes us to 36. And so on. For the next class, we take the 36 we have already accumulated, plus 3 more from this new class, and that gives us 39. And then for the last one, we take the 39 that we've accumulated up to this point, plus 1 more from this new class, and that gives us 40. Which, by the way, if you notice then, this here, the 40, is actually the sum of all of the frequencies, because at that point, we've accumulated the frequency of every single class in our distribution. So the sample size and the cumulative frequency of the last class should always be the same thing, because they are the same thing. I mean, literally, you get the sample size by adding up all of the frequencies. And the cumulative frequency is adding up the frequencies up to a certain point. In this case, adding all of them up to and including the last class. So the sample size is the cumulative frequency of the last class. And for the others, we just add up all of the classes up to that point. We add up all the frequencies. So it's actually pretty straightforward. If you're having trouble with it, I think you're overthinking it. It is literally just add the frequencies up to that point.